open with the theme.
Yeah. Happy New Year, da da da. Happy New Year, da da da.
Isn't this coming out?
Happy New Year, da da da. Happy New Year, da da da. Happy New Year.
This
From
episode
Corner
comes out
Späti.
on December 30th.
Yeah, whatever. It's almost the New Year then. Shut up, Rob.
I mean, what difference does a day make? Nina Simone. Anyway, is that who sings that? Anyway,
It's been a long time since I've seen you guys.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Whoa! We're recording this in one session.
Whoa! Don't tell us. Tell
You
them.
can tell.
Like,
it's fine.
it's like a magic trick.
It's not
You're
a
not
magic
supposed
trick.
to
It's
do
fine. We're going back to back like Drake.
Yeah.
And Christmas episode we buttered ourselves up with Glühwein. And now
I have a beer.
I have a beer now too. I for some reason thought this was a good idea, and now halfway through my beer, I realized it may not have been the best idea, but I don't care.
We're going back to Glühwein soon.
Yeah. So
I already poured it into the pot. We're cooking it.
yes,
We're cooking.
whipping.
It's happening.
Yeah. So as promised, we have the whole gang here. Myself, Nick, Kieran, Yulia,
Hi.
Rob.
Hi.
And the holidays are
And the holidays. Hi, it's me, the holiday.
And
The
the
holidays-
fifth member, New York City.
New York City. Yeah, so the holidays are still, I guess, upon us. I don't know. We're recording this in the past. Past.
I'm in Spain enjoying oranges.
Hola.
Hola, orange.
I will be landing back in Berlin on the 30th.
Yeah.
Oh, what are you
Oh,
playing?
you?
Why haven't you called me yet?
Yeah.
So we
We'll be working.
I'll be working. Which we'll get to that of a question that we got. So we asked you all to ask us questions because we had no other idea for an episode for New Year's, and we wanted an excuse to get drunk and,
Yeah,
do
so
this dumb
don't
shit.
expect me to be smart.
Yeah, expect all of us to be as on top of our game as possible.
There weren't enough questions about rappers.
Seriously?
French philosophers.
Yeah.
Anything I will have form opinions about.
Yeah.
You need to work on your character because, boy, did I get questions on anime.
Yeah, no one asked Yulia or myself what is our favorite Lil Tracy song, and that really upset me. Yeah, do you want to just
Questions?
just go for it? Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
got.
I'm ready.
We should go through as many of these as we possibly can.
I'm gonna
I have both mulled wine and beer in my hands.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yulia getting drunk and more drunk at the same time.
Yes.
We are all sufficiently lit. Okay, so in total, I want to thank all the fans for what is almost close to a complete year of doing this podcast because we started very early 2019, I think.
Yeah, like February, I think.
So thanks for listening and thanks for sending us in total on Twitter and Discord 66 questions.
It should have been 69.
Next
Maroon.
To be fair, it was probably more like 70 something, but I collapsed some of them. Anyway, we can't get around to all of them because Jesus Christ, some of us have to get home. Not me. We're recording it in my house, but
I literally live across the street.
me and Nick communicate through 2 cups attached by a string.
Yes.
Yeah.
You should actually do that.
No. That's a very long string, actually. Still, I
Yeah.
don't know where I can find that.
Baumarkt.
How can we ever find long string? All right, question number 1, and this is addressed to all of us. Yeah.
Oh my god. Now I'm nervous.
They start with the easy
Don't do
ones.
that.
Julia, it's
Like-
a $100 question.
Who wants to be a millionaire? I do. but-
Who wants to be a millionaire or the German?
Wer,
Wer
wer,
wird
wird,
Millionär?
wer wird Millionär? Like who
Yeah,
becomes
yeah.
a millionaire? It's not like who wants to be. It's more like who.
It's-
That's
It's-
more hopeful.
No. It's
No,
not hopeful at all.
it's
It's
not.
because feudalism.
yeah.
All right.
Wer wird Millionär?
Who
But
becomes
not
a
you.
millionaire? It's certainly not the peasantry.
No, absolutely not.
All right, this is addressed to all of us. Why are you all such Berliner bubble, irony, poison, ketamine-loving expat hipsters, except for Yulia?
So it's not to me. Like it's not addressed to Senki.
Or you can explain why you're not
All right.
Berlin bubble,
Wait, what?
irony, poison, ketamine.
Yulia's the only one then who fits all those things that we don't.
She's
I
not
know.
expat.
No,
I'm not
true.
expert. Yeah, I'm just a Berlin. No, but yeah, you start.
I don't do ketamine.
I don't think any of us do ketamine. I just really like a rap song about ketamine.
Not partial to it.
Plead the fifth.
Ely, what are your opinions about ketamine?
For listeners at home, she raised both eyebrows.
It's not for dancing.
In the raising both eyebrows is called the classic double Spock. All right, next one.
Why are we such hip? What?
Well, actually, DM25 called us a hipster podcast.
Oh, that was right.
Yeah.
Why? Do they not
I
know?
don't know. They were in my place. Like,
Yeah. What the fuck?
I didn't have a mattress as a bed.
Yeah. But that's just what like old people, like my dad, anything that he thinks
Like
is
the
cool,
people
he'll just
from
be like, yeah, that's
DM25.
hipster.
Yeah, we're like not cool at all, though.
No, I'm not
like,
cool.
I
I'm
mean,
wearing glasses, but they're not cool.
No, exactly. Like we're all handsome, but it's like
Yeah.
not in like a weird, cool Berlin like. I don't know. Like
I don't think any of us wear all black.
I do,
I-
but it's just about to be me being lazy. But also, none of us look homeless, and like at the same time, you like if you squint your eyes, it's like designer.
My home.
No, like none of it. No. You know, like the Berlin hipster thing is that you
Oh,
look
yeah,
homeless, but if you
yeah.
like squint hard enough, then it's like, oh, it's like Balenciaga.
Well, why did you move here if you're not a hipster?
I don't know, actually.
Then you're a hipster.
Actually,
Fuck.
no. Fuck.
The new hot city in Europe is Lisbon,
Hot
though.
take.
Well, no, not anymore.
Oh, not
Not
anymore?
anymore.
I don't know.
It's
If
you
Riga
know
now.
If you know it's a hot
know
city,
it's a hot
It's
city.
in
it's not the hot city.
Yeah. Don't you
Have you ever
know?
heard Germans talk about what the new hot city is? They're like, yeah, everyone's living in Bremen now. You don't know? Like,
Fucking Bremen.
Yeah. Literally a shit like that.
Well,
Like,
Bremerhaven.
yeah, every fucking German who lives in Berlin's like, oh yeah, Berlin is so yesterday. I'm gonna move to what is it, Fulda?
Poznan. We're going back.
yeah, I
Chemnitz,
have an Ausstellung in Bremerhaven. Everyone, part of the exhibit is you get on the boat in Bremen and we ferry you up the river to Bremerhaven.
People are talking about like
Chemnitz.
Chemnitz and Leipzig.
Yes,
Leipzig.
yeah.
Leipzig only because Leipzig only because like rent is non-existently cheap.
That
is
is
it.
true.
That is it.
Also, Leipzig
Leipzig
has
is
a
the other
big
one.
drug problem, like meth
yeah.
and shit like that.
Yeah, like
so it's
us.
not ketamine. It's like
Yeah, classy shit is what
classy
we
like
do.
meth.
Yeah.
It's classy. It is horse tranquilizer.
No.
Yeah.
It's actually not horse tranquilizer.
a large donkey at best.
Yeah,
Sorry,
because that
we
would
should have
actually-
introduced our guest, the ketamine pedant.
Look, at best, it can take down an okapi, which is the thing that you find in Central Africa that looks like a cross between a horse and a zebra.
Oh, I know that thing.
An okapi.
Yeah, it's cute.
The more we talk about it, I did want to move to Berlin's, and so I think that makes me hipster. Sorry.
Yeah.
You all too.
No. Yeah. True. Yeah. You're
I went
absolutely.
for a job.
Yeah.
No, you went for university.
And that,
I also
yeah.
kinda went
well,
for
well, I
university.
went for university, but university wasn't starting, so I worked full time for like half a year. So
There are a lot of universities
Well, whatever.
in Germany.
You know, whatever it
pick
is,
Berlin.
whatever it is. I guess the sense that because we're all here, we're all automatically hipsters. That
Yeah.
answers the question. Next question.
Next question. This is a tough one, and it's to all of us. How do I keep the hope alive?
Ooh.
Yeah.
You're asking.
I mean, Rob kind of jokingly said, but also keep listening to the podcast.
Yeah.
If it stops working, you'll know.
I don't know. I think especially after the debacle that was the British elections, it is very hard
Yeah.
to. I think the first thing you should do is get off Twitter, even though it is entertaining. Like,
I think it's also radicalized.
no. I mean, like
Hopefully,
it
like-
is a tool. Don't get me wrong, but it is in the sense that then if you're only looking at just like the niche, stupid left fucking Twitter
it fucking
things,
fucks you up.
you're
yeah.
gonna hate every leftist.
Yeah.
And the reality of it is that then like we have to look at then leftism being like
I did see you like replying to like the Korean Friend Association about Juche.
yeah, of
You're on a
grief.
level of Twitter I'm not on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was because it was like don't
Wait,
learn
you-
because it was like
you
don't
should reply
don't
back.
learn Yucha from Wikipedia, and then I just like retweeted just don't learn Yucha at all.
Yeah.
And that, but like kind of going exactly into that is that like if we want to look at like the way that then I always kind of look at it is that like yeah, Twitter's fun. I like it. I try not to get too emotionally involved, although I do post a lot. You know, Rob I thought was going to give me like a look, but he didn't.
Because he's looking at his phone.
There is like a sense of
He
that.
gave
then,
up hope.
There is like a sense of that. Then, like if our politics are quote unquote working class politics, then that's the thing that then you have to like not necessarily engage with, but like just get yourself off the internet and like understand like the relationships with them that you're like developing with people, and like it may not be as easy as you think that it is, but at least then that gives you like a barometer of realizing that like there are people who think like you, they just aren't these fucking idiots on Twitter who then are just getting in arguments over nothing. Like talk to people, you know, who are working class, because you have a lot more in common with them. You may end up like there is the thing that you may end up with the casual racism and stuff like that, but you have to like there is a method of like going about that and trying to like I don't know, but there is something like refreshing about that still at the end of the day.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, because I think like a lot of leftists, especially like when they're not coming from like a working class background or something like that. Or
academics
like
too have this problem as well.
Yeah, exactly. Background. They just like, I don't want to call it a bubble, but kind of like...
It's a bubble.
Yeah, it is a bubble.
It's 100% a bubble.
Well, I'm calling it a bubble then.
Yeah.
Like spending time on Twitter or something, or just spending time on like, you know, just like reading stuff or like replying on stuff like on Twitter and like informing
and winning. You win at Twitter then at the end
you
of the day.
win at Twitter.
I mean, I do. I don't know about the rest of you.
Actually, like maybe like, seriously, like what you suggested, take some time like off Twitter and actually like get out there and because you meet people that are fucking like fascinating and doing actually like shit. You know, even if it's in like on a small level or something.
Yeah, it doesn't have to like be like political in the sense too either. It can just be in the sense of like that there is like our politics are collective. Yeah,
exactly. So and it's not like like you replying on a thread with other people or something like that.
This isn't like a Band-Aid over the fucking just misery that is what then we've seen of the last, I don't know, but it's gotten worse the last 4 or 5 years. But nonetheless, I think it does give like a better like barometer of how to like deal with these situations. Of like, my best example for me is like talking with my dad about political things and then trying to like break it down into sense of like how does he understand it? Because I know if my dad understands it, he'll get it. And even though he's politically like from a way weirder, different background than I am, he's still working class. He's still like when I like, you know, shit like with like landlords and whatnot. If I can bring a concept to my dad, then he understands it, and I do not have to explain it more than I have to. I know that then like, okay, this makes sense and it's good. You know, I don't have to sit there and be like, you know, bodies and spaces or Marxism, Leninism or whatever the fuck it is. Like, I don't have to fucking bring up any of that shit. To know that these politics are then the things that are end of the day that we can fucking win with.
Yeah. So, like, I guess kind of going back to the original question. First of all, picking up on what Nick says, yes, radicalizing your dad is like
it's cool.
It is a very good project. I literally got my dad at Howard Zinn's People's History of the United States one year, and it's just been like, let's go. It's every Christmas. But the I think the ultimate thing that helps me stay sane is you do kind of need to meet with other people. The bubble, the bubble on Twitter is kind of nice and comforting, but like I think you also need the bubble in real life. That's like way more important because
no one in the real world is debating about Yucha.
That's the example. Yeah, because like this is the thing. Like if you stay online, you'll get like super weirdly sectarian about your very specific left tendency, and then you'll like meet people in real life and realize, oh, this is all bullshit.
Do you actually know people in like real world things that then go deeply into like the anarchist communist like fight that then happened 80 years ago, and then they still like relive that in real life?
Yeah, it's
no.
Yeah. But I guess at the very minimum, there's probably like I'm not talking about everyone going out there right now and doing organizing because it's hard to get into right away. But like at the very least, reading groups exist. Like you can if you're in a college, you can very easily start one, being like, hey, there's this rad book called Capital. Let's all just get together and drink Glühwein and read some of it.
Oh, it's like Santa, but it's Marx.
Christmas themed.
Better
He kind of looks like Santa.
The better Santa.
Rob, any tips?
I've lurked on the internet my whole life, and I've turned out fine. I don't know if you need to get off the internet. I don't know.
I mean, I completely.
No, I'm not saying get off the internet entirely.
I'm just saying I remember being similar and being like, I don't fucking know anybody around me, so don't give me that advice.
Yeah.
I was probably being too pessimistic.
You were also probably like 14.
No, I was older.
16?
I just think like I don't have a great answer. Other than I don't know.
Because my guess is like for like supplemented with real life stuff. Like I'm not necessarily someone because I'm very online. I'm not necessarily someone to say get offline, but like
I didn't mean get off entirely. I just mean that in the sense of like that left wing bubble that exists on Twitter and on the internet isn't what you're going to approach if you're going to try to attract working class people, or just even get in conversations with working class people. You're not going to talk to them about Yucha. You're not going to talk to them about like fucking history of the Soviet Union. You're going to talk to them about the things of like the like the material political things that you at work or you in your all daily lives deal with. Yeah. And then through like that, I think that there is in a sense that there's an interaction there that doesn't exist online. I'm not saying that then online is bad. I'm just simply saying that then online, although it can be like a good thing to then have your group, it also is like really makes me hate the left sometimes as well, because like I don't like to. It's really annoying hearing, especially like within like the U.S. bubble of like, oh yeah, the fucking bizarre tankies attacking like the Chapo Chads and this and that. And that. Whatever the fuck. I don't care. I don't care about that shit. At the end of the day, like if you were actually leftists, you would understand that then like. One, not everything is a fucking CIA op. Like you are Alex Jones, but for the left.
It's not.
No, it isn't. I hate to break it to you.
The only thing that is the CIA op is this podcast.
Yeah. And maybe Black Socialists of America, but that's a whole different thing. But in all senses that like, when you're going around living in this like Alex Jones left-wing conspiratorial world, like that's horrible for your mental health.
Yeah.
Like you can be online and have a healthy relationship to socialism, but then also and not even be like
Facebook relationship status.
but like not even be in like
sorry.
Not even be like in the sense that you have to be like politically active, or just be not like your personality online doesn't have to go into then your actual reality of the world. And you can then still interpret the world as a socialist and still be a good socialist about it. And actually, for me, through that, makes me a better socialist. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I then understand like my when I see like the mechanisms of like my job and this and that and that, so on and so forth, it makes me understand like why it's so important to then be where I am. If I was still in academia right now, I could just be like, oh well, this theoretically this exists, but.
Yeah.
Oh hell, I'm like the workers' rights advocate at my fucking job.
Exactly. You got like when I worked at Xi'an, you literally got us the pay that we fucking deserved.
Yeah.
For days that we had worked that we didn't fucking get paid for half the time.
I know.
So
all I'll say is this, because it helps me. You know that meme of the there's like a kid standing in his bathroom and looking in the mirror, and the text is just like, you ever look in the mirror and think, damn, I'm really in this bitch? I think about that all the time, especially when I read Marx and he's like, man is the historical manifestation of nature becoming self-conscious. And I'm like, yep, that's me. And I'm in this bitch. And you are too. If you are listening to this, you are in this bitch.
Yeah.
Unless you're a capitalist, then
but no matter what, that's true.
So
that
we out here, as they say.
We out here.
That gives me hope.
All right, next question. I think we can keep this brief, but how did we all meet?
Ooh.
I can do this very quickly because I'm the newest to the group, and I met everyone here because Rob, like many people who are probably listening to this, slid into my Reddit DMs.
That's what Rob does.
That's what Rob does. And it turns out that we had already met via a reading group here in Berlin.
Kieran was wearing fingerless gloves at the reading group.
I was. I do that. Yeah.
Is it cold outside?
Probably
Fingerless
not.
gloves.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fingerless gloves make a lot of sense.
Like,
Would it surprise you to know that as a 12-year-old I was really into The Matrix?
nope.
Rob and I met at a birthday party. Yeah. And then
Of my friend.
Yeah.
Would it surprise you that I show up and everyone's like, oh, there's another American. I'm like, okay.
And it's me.
And Nick is sitting there doing like Chapo bits in real life to a bunch of normies.
And then Rob
And I didn't say anything. I just went like, I'm just going to
Sounds like-
observe for a little bit.
Rob immediately got it.
Sounds
Rob
like,
was like, I
Nick.
see you.
But I was also like, I'm just gonna like just sit here and watch a bit. I mean, I'm gonna laugh along, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna let him continue this.
Yulia is the German government mandated German friend that I have.
Yeah.
I think we didn't meet for the first time until the Marx conference. we
Yeah,
both
that
went
is
to.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, Max
Oh
200.
shit, that's so much cooler than how I met you guys. Which I think was like 3 beers deep at your apartment.
Yeah. It was like, oh yeah, Robert's gonna bring this Irish friend, and I thought you were on the podcast like for like 1 episode or something. And then you came back. It was like, what the fuck?
Can't get rid of him.
Who says Kieran?
Yeah.
I was scared of you. A bit.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Next question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice that we skipped
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Yulia and I met each other a long time ago.
time before the dark times.
Before the dog time, before
the empire. Shit, yeah, that's how long.
But we've like in all that, we've been friends now for about a year. Like all 4 of us now, and it's
Yeah,
oh no,
the alarm. That was the podcast alarm.
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah.
We're all still friends and everyone's still a goddamn cutie.
Yeah.
All right.
This is most important.
Number 7. This is the 7th question I got. Do you think the EU can/should be saved, reformed, made left? Is it too neoliberal? And on an addendum to that, assuming that reforming the EU is possible and desirable, what would it look like?
Damn, just coming up with the fucking hammers.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first?
Kieran, the EU guy.
I am the EU guy. Jesus, I think reforming the EU would be at best like a step in the right direction. Is definitely not the end goal. Like you could talk about an EU SSR, but that's very, very not possible. So I don't know, returning the EU back to maybe what it was in the 70s, where everyone was at least moderately social democratic at the best, is like a somewhat desirable goal. But no, I mean, the ultimate end goal is like, you know, the end of the state, owning all the means of production, shoving Guy Verhofstadt into a fire.
We would not shove Kiefer Hofstadt.
No, we would not shove Guy Verhofstadt. We love him.
Wait, what are we supposed to say when it's like
In Minecraft.
in Minecraft?
Minecraft,
In
yes.
Minecraft, yeah.
Yeah, I
Shove
forgot
Guy
to answer the
Verhofstadt.
last question. The only reason to keep up hope is because Jan Fleischauer is still breathing in Minecraft.
Yeah. I love that new mod in Minecraft where Jan Fleischauer is just in it. Yeah.
Yo, it's sick. You can just axe him to death.
I mean, I think reforming the EU, from my perspective, is merely like a tool for furthering other ends. Most power, most like all the shit that affects your day-to-day life is probably dictated by your national government way more than the EU. But the EU provides some sort of like scapegoating, straitjackets to like what your state government can do.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know, because it is. Do you want to go first?
no, go.
Like, I do think that because the EU, I guess you have to break it down into 2 things of like, there is like a common currency that then is within like the Eurozone.
Yeah.
And then there is like then the greater thing that is the European Union, which is like kind of like an idea more than actually anything, except for like also an economic project more so than a political project. Although EU stands do not want to ever admit that.
Yeah, of course not.
So, like, from that perspective, I think that you like, as a Marxist, can't really ignore that there is like a means that then of the conditions of like the legal structure of the European Union are very much ingrained to how we exist. You know, you go to the grocery store, like the agricultural laws of the European Union.
Yeah, the banana has to be.
That's actually not true, but whatever. You know, like it's all this shit of like
it's just making the
the fucking stereotypical thing about your banana can't be curved or whatever the fuck it is.
It has to be curved.
To a degree, like this is specific.
Yeah, it's the same with
Let's not get into the specifics of a fake rule.
Yeah. But that's the like. So that was like that was like a thing that when the agricultural thing came about, that was like one of the fake rules that everyone made up. But still, nonetheless, like
Boris Johnson made it up specifically.
do you really?
Yeah, he used to be the Brussels guy.
King.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, like agriculture, there's a like European Union regulation of agriculture is incredibly fucking stupid, and there is a. I don't want to say that then like, oh, we just have to like like getting rid of it after it has been around for so long is is, at least in my view, like near impossible. But there are and maybe this just comes from like looking at then how like other potential groups that then have like addressed this, like with like DM and whatnot, that there is like a plan put out forward of that they are leftists. They're not really extremely pro-European. Like they're not pro-EU, but they're pro-European. I think that then the idea then of like a European identity that then is inclusive of everyone, not just white Europeans, is incredibly important, especially when we live in the 21st century. And that through these mechanisms that then already exist within the EU, they make it maybe a little bit easier. Because the EU is like just a skeleton that you can probably just like
kind of like. Well, I mean, this is also like a internationalist idea, kind of, like even though if it's like limited to the like European states for now, but also this kind of reminds me how like the right-wing parties of like, for example, Hungary and Poland use the structures and the institutions that the EU provide.
Yeah, they're way better at it than we are.
Yeah, for their benefit.
Yes.
So like in a sense of that, maybe you would use the structures and the institutions to like get closer to a certain
Leninism.
I know exactly to a certain degree.
Yeah.
As long as it's there, because you can't just like get rid of it the way it
we
is.
can't
So,
smash
like,
the European Union tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
And
so,
it isn't. I don't know. And this is just maybe like again, like I know that I joked about Leninism, but it is like a tenet then of that. The state is a mechanism that then is a historical material product. And that then through the reality and the relation that we have to it, cannot like its use is suspended in history, So it is in the sense that there is a method that then it could potentially become transitional. We don't know. Do we want to keep the European Union forever? Absolutely not.
Nope.
And I mean, this is where maybe like anarchist Kieran can come in. Just come into smashing. But like isn't like the idea then of like, at least for me, the idea then of keeping the structure of the European Union forever and always is stupid. But the potential that exists then within, but I don't know, whatever the structure that it is, because I fully don't understand it. But it is something that you can't like just completely just be like, all right, well, if we get power in this, whatever it is, we're just going to get rid of it, because that's unrealistic to think of. And especially because it controls your currency.
It might backlash internationalism.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I think so. This is anarchist perspective, Kieran, of like you can't really think of the EU, as much as it wants to say otherwise, of anything other than a state. It is effectively, from the purposes of the left, a state. Because while people don't have like any kind of national attachment to it in the same way that they do for like the Netherlands or Hungary or whatever, I mean, it very much functions the exact same.
Two horrible countries.
Two horrible countries. Racism in different ways, but equally valid racism. It is like, it is effectively the state, so you kind of have to analyze it in the same way, which is like, long term, no, you don't want it there. Immediately removing it is probably going to result in a lot of horrible shit. That you probably don't want to inflict on yourself or anyone else. So, it's kind of a difficult question, to be perfectly honest. There's that one nice Trotsky quote about, like, the United States of Europe, about basically, even back in Trotsky times, was like, everyone who's rich in Europe is just, like, does not give a fuck about, like, Germany or Poland or whatever the fuck. They're all just, like, rich Europeans. Who gives a shit? So we need to, like, as a working class, get together. And with that last point, I would probably say there is a project, a liberal / quasi-fascist project that's moving quite slowly, but moving nonetheless, that is trying to create a European national identity. European federalism is like a thought for a reason. So I think with that acknowledgement, I think it's important to be like, the left can't be caught with its pants down. If that happens tomorrow, of like everyone's suddenly gung-ho for this, like, the United States of Europe project. I mean, there was a fucking skit in Neo Magazine Royale earlier this year. We did an episode about it where they were just talking about the United States of Europe. Like, if that's the kind of shit that if it's on TV, like on a state broadcaster, it's like, this might be heading somewhere. So we need an analysis of that and be able to hijack that for left purposes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You all made smart comments. Thank you. The only thing I would add is that fundamentally a lot of these questions come down, like you have all pointed out, like, I don't know what they call them, trends, or like positive aspects or trends on both sides of the argument, right? So it fundamentally is a tactical question. Where does the shit lie right now?
Yeah.
And I mean, just the question wasn't directly about Brexit, but then that's an example of being like, might be too late, for on this or that question. And sometimes you don't know in the moment. Obviously, that's why you study history and politics. But fundamentally, you have to be flexible, and you shouldn't be like saying, no, this is the only way forward. Shit's going to change. Things will become more clear.
Yeah.
Play the field as it lies.
I mean, like, everyone on the left shouldn't really have any attachment to the, like, aesthetics of the state. Like, you shouldn't give a shit if you're... Oh, there's that very good, like, Joseph Connolly quote about, like, no one gives a shit if they're... if the letter telling them to get out of their apartment has the crown on it or a shamrock. Like, if it's the EU or if it's the Netherlands, if it's the EU or if it's Germany or France, whatever the fuck, it's not going to make a huge amount of difference to probably your relationship with your boss, your relationship with the landlord, your relationship to capital. Yeah. So it's set dressing a lot of the time.
Eyes on the prize.
Eyes on the prize. All right.
Next question.
More.
Which one of you would best be able to survive the coming climate apocalypse?
Excellent question.
This was in the Discord, and people noted that you are from Arizona, Nick, so you've already lived through
I already lived. I've lived through like 8 climate apocalypses already. You guys can all fuck off.
Not only that, he's also like, aren't you an Eagle Scout?
Yeah, I was.
See, you could like actually survive in the desert, like because that's what you did basically when you were a kid. Where you like left outside, you said your parents told you like if you find your way back home, you're a man, Nicholas.
They just put me in the front yard.
My dad was Leonidas from the movie Leonidas the Spartan. That's what it was called.
Yeah, I don't really like the heat. I don't like saunas, for example, or hot tubs.
I've never been to one.
Not
They're
finished,
too
then.
hot.
Oh God, no. Sorry, I'm Irish. I literally, a part of my brain switches on after it reaches 21 degrees Celsius, where I just decide to murder everyone around me. It's not good.
Your chances.
I've been to the desert.
You haven't even fucking.
But not in
experienced-
summer.
Oh my god,
Only in
no.
February.
Everyone can fucking. I mean, given all right in Berlin, it's hot because you
warm.
guys love living in just like hell.
Actually, yeah, because you have like ACs
Air
and
conditioning
shit
everywhere.
like
Yeah,
that.
which is to be like. This is what I'm saying is that Americans love to live in this false sense of comfort because like which to be fair in Arizona just works against you because when it's really 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 hot outside. And then you go in a really cool air conditioned place, and then you go outside, you just immediately melt.
You catch a cold or something.
You don't catch no cold.
Well, Germans believe that you catch a cold from different temperatures.
It's just you're just hiding from the fact that you can't adapt.
What about your skills? I want to know more about the skills I need to
Okay.
know. Can you teach us
What kind of skills?
What kind of skills do I
to
mean?
survive
Like,
the climate apocalypse? Other than just
I can shoot
having a thick
guns.
lizard
You can
skin
shoot
to like
guns.
keep your
Does that
Self-warm.
count? Who do I have to shoot?
Pissing in a snake skin.
I mean, I think Rob and I have the outdoor skills.
Does Rob have outdoor skills?
I just hike and carry things on my back. That's my only skill.
I can't
Can you carry me
things.
on your back?
Yes, you can.
I can carry me like a leg and an arm.
That's most.
You know, when Kieran hits the landmine from the private, the whatever it is, the
Securitas.
fortress, the
I'm
Securitas
trying to
fortress.
burn down the goat.
Yeah, when Kieran just disappears, but there's an arm and a leg left, then yeah, Rob can definitely carry that.
Sick.
All right.
But no, like outdoor skills, I think Rob and I amongst ourselves could have it. Yulia has the skills of
She can shoot a gun.
Yulia's a better shot than I am actually with the first time that I shot.
Yeah, for like a first-time
Yeah.
shooter.
Even
All right, so our squad of Rob, Nick, Shooter, Yulia, and Kieran's dismembered remains.
Being carried on. Rob.
Yeah, and the Quarter Späti podcast continues, where Kieran's hot takes are just the eerie silence of the arm.
charred bone.
Charred bones. Sick. All right, next question. All right, so this is a bit of a personal question. I know Yulia has a working class background, and I know Kieran also escaped Ireland because Ireland is an economic fuckhole. But what more can you folks tell us about your backgrounds, and how has it affected your ideologies? So we'll go with Rob first because he wasn't mentioned in the question.
Okay, we'll go first. So is it asking like
Rob's from what's it called?
Rob doesn't know Christmas.
Yeah, Rob doesn't know Christmas, and he's from Martha's Vineyard.
I don't know the true meaning of Christmas. I've been to Martha's Vineyard once. It's right there, guys.
Yeah, rich kid.
The ferry is actually, I don't know how much the ferry costs, but it seems pretty cheap.
For your fucking Martha Vineyard prices, yeah, of course.
I don't know what exactly it was asking, so I will say everything.
Your kind of road to Damascus moment, I guess. Yeah.
Well, no, I interpreted it more as like your like family background. Let me think about my parents. They're libs. They're nice liberals. I think I can probably convince them both to vote for Bernie. My mom's almost there.
It's the only reason that we have the podcast is to convince your family.
We are technically Protestant, I guess, but the real Protestant is that they're like
I mean, based on the
atheists.
description of your Christmas, yes, you are.
But really, they're like actually.
There is literally no culture.
I was always curious about this, and actually, I learned the secret that all of my great grandparents were like Protestant as fuck, like Seventh Day Adventists, like the apocalypse is coming, not Mormons, but the same level. And then everyone else after was just like, yeah, we're not going to do that. But then there's nothing else.
Apocalypse?
That's really how I understand American religion. They're like, well, it's just things are fine. Let's just keep going without it. And yeah, I grew up in a small suburb with we were like comfortable. I mean, my parents like had some trouble, but I think that I was thinking about this recently, actually. Like one of maybe a saving grace that like I'd like to think I would always turn out fine, but I think something that helped me is that I mean this in a very positive way. If they heard this, they would probably think it's an insult. But both my parents are kind of like fail sons. I mean, fail kids. Like both of my
Your two gay dads. Well, bearing the lead in your progressive rainbow family.
My grandparents were like more well off. Like both my grandparents were professors, so like I could imagine like in another world they're like fucking like I'm like a Pete Buttigieg clone, you know, if they like, you know, go to like good schools and live in the city and everything.
Our son's a fucking podcaster.
But or if they were born a generation late, they'd be the one on this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, yeah.
Wait. Rob's from Massachusetts, so his parents like, our son's a fucking podcaster.
Okay.
And yeah. My road to Damascus moment, I don't know. I was very liberal.
You joined ISIS, and
then I moved to Germany and joined ISIS.
I think like for me, it's
in
like
Minecraft.
Yeah.
In Minecraft, yes. Yeah, so for me, it's like a little bit weird because like Yulia's visited me in the U.S. and it's like a very weird like the way that I always kind of got it. And my mom's not listening to this, so I don't give a shit. So I always got the impression that like when I got older, that like my family was always putting on this sense of, like trying to be wealthier than they were. Because when I started because I always like I went to like my mom was like, okay, I feel like, you know, Catholic school, this and that and that, and the kids were like significantly like richer than my family was, and I had no concept of like what like working class was. Like my mom was like a manager at a department store, which is like a mediocre fucking job, and I always like I never questioned the fact of like how did like, you know, my parents afford to then send me to the school here and this and that and that. I had no idea what the fuck debt was either. So, and my dad like he's an IT dude at a school, so like a union job that then he's always like, I don't know why I get all these benefits. It's like, Dad, it's because of your fucking union that you're in. You should, you know. So
That's
it is like my mom lives with my uncle, and my uncle has money, and they live in just like this stupid fucking massive house that's just falling
with a
apart.
tennis court.
Yeah, it's dumb. And it's hard to explain because like if you move, because they moved to Phoenix in like the 80s, which is like you could have bought like a town for
because
the price.
nobody wanted.
No one wanted to
fucking
live
there.
in fucking Phoenix.
And then suddenly Rockstars found out that it's like a quiet place to
yeah,
live. and
exactly. So my family moved there.
also
when,
old people.
Yeah, exactly. So my family moved there when no one moved there. So they got this big ass just plot of land for like the amount of money that it would cost you to like get like, I don't know, like a 2-bedroom apartment in Berlin. No, I mean that 100% seriously.
But buy it, not rent
Like
it.
buy it, not rent it. Exactly. So then, like, there was just like my mom and my uncle own this house, just like falling apart before their eyes, thinking that they're rich. And I always had this like thing of like wondering like, are we wealthy? No, like I don't really know. My mom has a normal ass fucking job. My dad, like my mom and dad divorced, and my dad lives like with my cousin. So.
Not anymore.
No, he still does.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that anime cousins or real cousins?
Real cousins.
Okay.
No, actually, I take that back. My dad.
Not anymore.
My dad's like really good, and then like, cause like the thing of the matter is like America's always a sense of like you have like the thing of like getting rich quick, and my dad falls into every one of those traps and just like loses a shit ton of money every fucking time. So I think that's why also then going back to the other question, like why working class stuff works with my dad is because my dad's all like, damn, like I've tried to make money for so long in my life, and why can't I? And he just doesn't understand that there's like this thing called, like capitalism, baby. That's like, fucking you over. Where then like my parents are both really conservative, and they're just kind of like naturally conservative because of the state of just like.
It's interesting because it's such a different kind of conservative, because your mom is like classic, traditional conservative thing. Your Greek side of the family is kind of crazy.
They would all vote Golden Dawn.
Like, they would also smoke weed while doing.
Yeah.
In Minecraft.
It's absolutely. It really is. It really is like the thing of the matter that like I need to like maybe like hit on the nail is that like my family is like a really typical thing of like what happens when like the diaspora like has like one generation, and that is literally either my mom is like her parents are from Italy and one of my dad's parents is from Greece, and it's kind of the sense of like they internalize the American dream for themselves, and we're like, oh, like. This is it. And then my generation of that's like realizing like this is actually quite trash, So it's like weird for my parents to then like hear that, because their parents obviously had it worse than we all did, But it is this like weird, especially like with my mom and whatnot, it's this very like weird like pretend bourgeois thing, even though my mom doesn't make enough money to be like to pretend to have this lifestyle that she does. Like it's very, very, very weird. So that's conditioned me in the sense, like, of that. Yeah. More that's so than than actually like when I lived there, like kind of like reflecting back on it.
Oh yeah, then you came to Berlin and changed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yulia, your background, or as much as you're willing to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, wait. So
just a small town. Yeah.
Well, I come from Bielefeld, actually. Oh, did I dox myself?
No.
The only Yulia from Bielefeld.
Yeah, the only one. No, but they moved to a smaller city, Löhne, which is quite known for being like super into like CDU and shit like that. But my parents weren't like that, because my grandfather actually always was like a member of the Social Democrats. So, which was a big deal, definitely during like Nazi times. Yeah. So he worked for like the train, like he was a Bahnarbeiter, how we would call it. So always like he actually got a visit from like the local SPD, like 70 years and with a party and shit like that. So so my father was always like also kind of like social democrat, and my mother actually is like a left party now, thanks to me, I would say.
Good job. Yeah. Radicalizing your parents is fun.
Yep, I know.
We said dads earlier, but you could do it to your mom.
My mom literally told me like, yeah, I mean, I'll vote for Bernie if it'll make you happy, and I'm like, yes, but I wanted a better reason than that.
I'm also not sure if it's like guilt that drove my mom into like.
I really like that Sarah Wagenknecht woman. I was like, no.
But yeah, so like I would say like all of my like core family, like nuclear family, because I can't say like that about all of my family members. Well, I would say definitely my mother's brother and shit like that. He was also very left wing, and he had a fucking raven sitting on his shoulder.
Cool.
Yeah, I know.
You're
So-
a pirate, uncle.
That's like the German equivalent of like an anime dude.
Yeah.
Sick. Do I have to get a raven to assimilate?
So, I mean, my grandmother who just turned 90. Happy birthday! Yeah, very German birthday. I mean, she like said stuff like, well, should I go that deep into my family story? I
You
don't
don't
think
have
so.
to if you don't want
Okay,
to.
I'm not good because that would be a long story. Also,
Your
I'm
grandma
drunk.
just turned to you and said, "Stalin did nothing wrong."
It's actually interesting because like she
Why is it as easy?
she was like chased away by the Russians because she is from East Prussia, but
Right.
she also said, yeah, well, they had their reasons. So, yeah.
While your grandmother was running away from the Soviets, she's like, I get their point. I'm tired, but I see where they're coming from.
So, yeah, my parents are both like paramedics or nurses or whatever. So, yeah. I'm the second in my family that ever went to university.
Nice.
Yeah. Like all cousins and shit.
My stuff is really fucking basic and dumb as fuck. I come from a middle class background by that definition of class. Like very secure. I moved around a lot of Ireland, so I didn't really have any attachment to any one particular area. It's why a lot of Irish people also think I sound American sometimes. Which
I thought that.
really
Yeah.
interesting.
Until you get around English or other Irish people, then it comes out.
My code switching, yeah. But no, you have to imagine that Irish accent you heard, and then people hearing that being like, "You sound American." It's like,
No.
that's the level. I guess like things that happened in my history was the one like kind of cool and maybe like Lifetime movie original thing was like my dad exposed a bunch of insider trading happening in his company and was fucking ruined for it, and then I was all like, this system is sus. But the jokey and also probably far more truthful answer is I watched The Matrix, and then the first Matrix ended with a Rage Against the Machine song, and then I got really into Rage Against the Machine, and Evil Empire as an album came with a reading list, and I read some of that, and I was like, this system is sus. So, yeah, I've been kind of on this bullshit since I was like very young. But probably have never been smart enough to vocalize it until maybe now, but also not now.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that I when I was 15, I joined Antifa. So like,
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
no, it's like because it has always been like a thing to, because what else are you going to do in Löhne, for example?
I don't know what's happening.
Drugs?
Yeah, drugs, but
You can do that at the same time.
I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
No, but yeah, so.
Yeah, while we're admitting, I should say I was not an Antifa when I was 15. I was never like conservative or anything. I was like a liberal and mostly just apolitical because I was like, well, you know, things aren't great, but I don't know what I can do about it.
I'm just flexing here. I just wanted to say I was young and an Antifa.
No, but I mean, like, I don't know what our listeners think, but I listen to podcasts. I think it's definitely like, I appreciate when people explain like the backgrounds of where they're coming from. Like, so whenever I say something you don't agree with, you're probably right. But like, I mean, I wouldn't say that. I just didn't like, I always thought that like, I'm like, wow, that left wing stuff sounds cool. That'll never happen. Go back to my life and do whatever else. And honestly, yeah, it wasn't until I moved to Europe that I was like, oh, another world is possible.
I mean, yeah, I think to be fair,
And the Trump election in particular, I mean, kicked everything into high gear.
Yeah, for sure. I think to be fair though, like Germany has always been a very politically active country due to its history. In my social scene, I was a fucking oddity. I think it is pretty normal for anyone who might be feeling in any way insecure. It is pretty normal to be apolitical for 99.99% of your life. So, and also, don't make politics like 100% of your existence.
Yeah.
You'll end up into terrible people like us. And on that, our next question. What other podcasts do you listen to? I think we can be very brief and just mention the ones that we really like or support.
Can I start?
I don't listen to any.
I was about to say
anymore.
none.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but I will shout out ones that then are worth listening to because we're friends with them,
Yeah.
and I appreciate the content that I do hear from them.
Oh yeah, sometimes like I listen to some, but
Our boy, who's been on the show multiple times, we love him. Milo,
Yeah.
Fresh Future. I mean, they, especially their fucking stream that they did the other day. I saw
that was fun.
bits of it. That convinced me in the sense
but they're
of
better at getting drunk than we are.
yeah, they're much better at getting drunk. I mean, like they're also in
try.
a different situation of like the dire need of getting drunk.
Also,
in order to
BBC
make-
is not calling me, so
Yeah. But anyone. I mean, although I don't actively listen to anything that then we've kind of had relations with, like
you mean relationships?
relations.
The other podcast that our podcast is fucked.
Exactly. I was on, like just like the dudes from What a Hell of a Way to Die reached out to me, and I listened to the show maybe like 3 times before that, and it was like, yeah, okay, cool. Just because Nate also is with the Trash Future crew and whatnot. So in that sense of not that I listen to podcasts, but the sense that then the ones who are really cool with us, I can really respect and appreciate that, especially because like Nate's also in Europe as well, like and Milo and all them as well.
The Antifada.
Antifada is Rob will probably say that as well, and
I think I've listened to every episode of Chapo Trap House multiple times. That's what I would do when I was working, and I do think that's particularly for a European audience. I mean, I think to a particular American liberal, it's like like the Matrix red pill. Like you can like, oh, you don't have to like look at politics the normal way. At least that's how I felt. So I'm always appreciative to them for that. I would still listen to them. Otherwise, I don't love listening to podcasts. I will listen to informative stuff. I listen to the Revolutions podcast. Antifada, I am a patron because I've listened to their History as a Weapon. I stole the last one and that I should start paying them. Revolutionary Left Radio. Anything that seems interesting, I will listen to a one-off episode from. So, yeah.
Go on.
Just 2 more that I thought of.
Yeah.
One, Struggle Section.
Oh yeah.
I really like them. When I do get around to listening to the show, although I disagree with their Star Wars opinions, I can at least
Sounds like I'd agree with their Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, no. Because I agree with their Star Wars opinions about The Last Jedi. But I actually I'm one of those weird people, I think Yulia is as well, that we liked The Force Awakens.
We did.
No, I like that too.
We did.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, Kieran.
But
I'm dead to everything.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, so but still nonetheless is that I do one, Jack reached out to us and that was really nice. 2, they, regardless if I agree with their opinions or not about pop culture stuff or comics or whatever it is, it's still fun to listen to their show because the way they present it. E1 is fantastic.
E1
is fucking fantastic. That
Yes.
is just the dumbest show, and the fact that they just come up with that original material. That's probably a podcast that the only one that I can think of that I go out of my way to listen to.
But yeah, it's kind of not true that I said I don't listen to podcasts. I do, but it's not on a regular basis. So
Fair
it's
enough. So I'm gonna flex on people a little bit. It turns out that this year I listened to 92 days worth of podcasts. And that's even at 1.5 speed. Which Yulia is looking at me, but I'm like, you're mostly listening to podcasts in your second language, so I wouldn't recommend 1.5 speed. Like the German podcast I listen to, I do it 0.5 speed. I'm like, what are you saying? So I guess I would support everyone if every podcast that everyone else has said, E1, Antifada, Trash Future. Trash Future is the number one reason why I'm like, hey, there's some stuff happening in British news. I was like, we shouldn't cover that. They'll do it so much better than us. Pods of America is the one I support. Balling Out Super for if you want your leftist takes on anime. That's a very niche thing, but I support that. And I guess to other people who have helped us out in the past, I would also recommend Radical Reflections, which is done by good boy David Swanson.
Yeah, still one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah.
I sat there like that dumb fucking guy being like, damn, really? Like, that happened in Ireland?
As soon as you were like, when we talked about specific tendencies, he was just like, as long as you're out there helping people, I was just like, yeah, Nick's gonna fucking be horny for this one. So I was like, yeah, he's great. We had him on in our episode about like Ireland and how it's kind of fucked. He's great. He actually did a recent episode with Rev
Left Radio.
Yeah, Rev Left Radio on the IRA, which I haven't listened to yet, but I'm sure it's going to be good. And then also, I think two other shout outs in terms of like informative shit. Citations Needed, which is a good like media analysis, particularly in the States. And Rebel Steps, which is basically a guide on how to like start organizing. Their season 1 is like each episode is only about 15 minutes each, and you can listen to season 1 in less than 2 hours.
Yeah. Also, the Jan Fleischhauer Fun Hour.
Yeah, I listen to like there's like 500 German podcasts that are all like zwei geile Typs.
Yeah,
I listen to all of them at the same time. It's a cacophonous beauty.
The fucking Kollege podcast, Starke Männer.
Starke Männer are my favorite.
Yeah.
What's
his thing
listen
called?
To every fucking
Alpha. That's his thing.
Alpha.
Yeah. No. Does he actually have a podcast?
I don't know.
I imagine though.
I was also like joining in on the joke. So
no, I know. But now I'm just imagining what like.
This is a fraud.
Yeah, I'm just like him just being like for like an hour because like German podcasts are like 2 times longer than any English language podcast. It's just him being for 3 hours long, just being like, Jungs, was ihr machen sollt, ist.
Isn't like Aufstehen like 6 hours long?
Aufstehen is literally 3 hours.
Aufstehen
is the movement.
Aufstehen is a movement that
Also lasted for 6 hours.
Solid gaff.
Aufwachen or whatever the fuck it's called. Yeah, their episodes are 4.5 hours.
Sounds scary in German. Always.
It does. Yeah, they're a left-wing, center-left podcast. You name themselves something quite problematic. Yeah. Oh, got a shout out. What is it? Lage der Republik. Whatever the fuck it is.
No.
That's my favorite.
Our rivals, our Gary Oak to our Ash.
Dude, did you fucking? I saw pictures of like that they sell out like arenas in Germany.
That's how it's gonna be. That's how it's gonna be.
Oh, we're going to like half fill like a tiny prefab in Castle, and it's gonna be great.
While we're
every time you say Castle, I think of Castle. Like I'm still hoping for a fucking castle where. Like,
we're going to get a castle.
I should say I've never listened to Pod Save America, but I heard the show before it, Keeping It 1600. I listened to some of the episodes because I was like, whoa, they seem to know what's going on in this politics thing. Might as well check them out. Oh, that's how the election's going to work? Ted Cruz can't win Wisconsin? Okay.
Where do we want to take Corner Späti on the road?
Everywhere that you want us to come. I sound like a fucking douchebag, but...
I like traveling.
Yeah. I mean, literally.
Japan.
No, I'm like in Germany. I think that obviously
rock climbing, traveling, cooking, nice walks on the beach.
This is Julia's Tinder profile.
I'm also 1.65 meters.
Yeah, it's kind of hard for us, isn't it? Because like as a European show, there isn't really like, especially like based in Germany. There's Germany that we can do. Like, I don't want to see more of Germany. I've already seen more of Germany. So if you have,
I haven't seen that much of Germany.
It's big. It's big.
But
biggest country.
I don't know. Wherever this dumb fucking show takes us.
I would love to go to Hamburg.
Yeah.
I love it there.
I have friends
I don't
there.
think we can announce anything, but maybe there would be a live show sooner than you all think.
Don't get too excited.
Don't get too excited. Yeah, you don't.
It's not what you think it is.
We've seen the we've seen the stats. You don't live there. There's
I
some,
just I guess like to answer that seriously, it would be just to get out of Germany and to see like if I mean, I know that like for some reason the Dutch like us, and that kind of has me wondering because like how racist are we then? So
I want to go to Eastern Europe.
yeah, I was actually thinking.
Yeah.
The first place
again, how racist are we?
Yeah. The first
Go
place
to Latvia.
The first place
How racist are we?
the first place outside of Germany, I think would be a really cool place to do a show. Would probably be like Prague. Yeah. But I guess I would love to do just kind of almost anywhere, but it's going to be Germany, somewhere in Germany.
I mean, I would want to do Berlin. I mean, like, I know that we live here,
Yeah.
but I want to, like, I already have an idea. Like, I think we've already kind of agreed upon this, about the sense of that, like, for if you do live in Berlin, and we do kind of figure out in the sense of, like, how to do the live show thing, like, our first idea then after whatever this thing that has not been talked about yet would be to then get, like, a space here at a bar that we all like going to, and then doing the show there. And kind of seeing how it. No.
No. That was.
Were you
supposed to be a
shaking
nod.
your head?
I was shaking my head in some direction.
Yeah.
I would love to
In the wrong, though.
do even some like recurring thing, like catch us
yeah.
every couple months. Here.
Yeah, and I think that would be really like so. If for whatever reason any of our listeners do happen to work or have a bar in Berlin, that's a very long shot. Let us know because we would like to do that.
Yeah.
And it I don't know, it'd be fun.
Yeah.
I want to like I do want to do this a little bit more than just like I don't know, going to
Kieran's
Nothing
anime
against
dog
the
palace.
anime dog palace. I love it.
I love the anime dog palace.
Yeah.
It also give me an excuse not to go to work that day. So
I guess next up we can go into a little bit of some Yulia questions. Oh,
What?
I'll get back to that.
which one?
German?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, Yulia questions.
Alright.
First, Yulia question. How does it feel to be the best corner Späti boy?
Oh, how does it feel to be the best? I mean, I'm a humble nature.
I put my pants on.
Yeah.
2 legs at once like the rest of us.
Yulia jumps from the second floor and puts her pants on. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm the second.
Yeah.
I live on the fourth. Like, we can...
Second is placed up to me. All right, so I guess... So this is a... we got a lot of questions on Eastern Europe. Yeah, so I don't think we can do all of them, but I think it's fair to say that we will probably do a lot of these questions as episodes.
Yeah, we should definitely.
Yeah, especially the stuff around Transnistria, because Transnistria is a whole ball of fuck.
Yeah.
I guess one that kind of came up multiple times, both on the Discord and Twitter, is like, how do you do leftism in the former Soviet/Yugoslav space?
That's difficult. Actually, like when it comes to former Yugoslavia,
Slogoslavian Warsaw Pact.
Yugoslavia. Actually, I see like when I can only speak of Kosovo and like some people I know from Serbia, but in Kosovo especially, like I see like a young generation of people actually like really embracing leftist thoughts and really organizing. It's mostly around the LGBTQI plus community in Pristina that I know of that are very left wing and are really like embracing leftist thoughts and also like criticizing like capitalism and what it does to people.
Yeah.
And I think there's still like some of that energy left among like young people in like the former Yugoslavian countries, but you also, of course, you have like a rise of nationalism, a rise of like also like in the young generation a lot.
Isn't it like Levica in Slovenia that's meant to be quite like power?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, yeah. Slovenia in general is kind of like what the fuck. Slovenia is kind of cool.
Okay.
Like Ljubljana and shit like that. They have a lot of anarchist spaces and shit like that. So they're kind of cool. Also, I would say like if it comes to that, I would say like maybe the like ex-Yugo here we go countries are probably the ones where I would see like the most hope.
Right.
Like when it comes to that.
Not Serbia.
Not Serbia.
What was it? Our City is Drowning campaign in Belgrade.
Yeah,
that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have that also. Yeah, you have it in Serbia as well. Like you have stuff going on. What is kind of problematic definitely is like, okay, let's not talk about the Baltics because that could also be like a whole episode.
It will be a whole episode. That's what you know the most about.
Episode.
Just us yelling at Latvia.
What the problem is kind of like, is kind of like the narrative, like a national narrative that is fed to everyone, and that actually
For
works.
Latvia, it's like the Nazis weren't that bad.
Well,
That literally is their national narrative.
yeah, that is the national narrative. All for Latvia is a national narrative, kind of like that's yeah. So like you could actually go deep into like how did transitioning from the Soviet like past work out, and that would be another episode actually, because like I know we got this question as well, and that would be like it's interesting because it worked out differently in different countries. Like Hungary, for example, like sold all of their like shit off to Germany, kind of. Not only Germany, but mostly Germany.
Mostly Germany.
Latvia sold it to Sweden.
Yeah, but that was like financial stuff. Like Hungary actually had had manufacturers during what's it called, industry and shit like that. So like Poland and Hungary. Yeah, but that would be another episode. But I would say like an important thing is to actually like probably disable national narratives when it comes to like if you wanna talk to like former like if you want to talk to younger people, for example, because they have had that a lot, and they don't have the experience of like the former Soviet Union. So of course you wouldn't have a government that would like say or embrace like the former Soviet or communist governments, because like it doesn't work. Because there's like too much memory and too much like stuff going on, and too many strategies of like actually lost my train of thought. There was too much energy put into like making everything that was a Soviet heritage, like claiming this was actually bad, like all of it, even though the governments used a lot of structures and institutions that were left over, and a lot of literacy, for example, came from the Soviet past, or not Soviet, like by communist past. So, wait, I have to think. I've talked a lot. So.
That's all right. That's all right. Like I think we said before, we'll probably do
an entire episode.
We should,
on like we'll do several episodes on like all these.
Yeah,
things.
because you see, like, okay, are we talking about like any Eastern Europe or like Central Eastern Europe country?
I mean, I think this is the thing that like one of the questions that we got asked was like, what do we miss when analyzing Eastern Europe, like from the perspective of the West? This question was coming from a Dutch person, and like one thing is that I've often found my travels or whatever is kind of grouping all of Eastern Europe together, because ex-USSR
that doesn't work. Yeah, exactly.
Like there's ex-USSR, there's ex-Warsaw Pact, there's ex-Yugoslav, there's East Germany, which is its own thing again. All kind of fall into different things. So
you can say like there is. Well, I would say there are countries that have still like the nostalgia that we know as like Ostalgie, for example, in Germany, so with the GDR, that you have in Russia, at some like in some parts in Russia as well, that you also have in. Well, here we go. We would go like with Transnistria or Belarus that actually don't have that much to do with like any like communist regimes anymore, but it has like, you know, you have all these leftover structures and institutions and you use them, but it doesn't really have to do anything with like leftist politics or something like that. And it's a fucking like broad topic, so I would say like we do an episode on it, because like it has to do with a transitioning time, it has to do with the strategies used, it has to do with new narratives being invented by right-wing governments, for example. Because you had this like round table solution in Poland, for example, that you got the Solidarność together with like the former communists and stuff like that. You didn't have what you had in the GDR, that everyone like was kind of like kicked out when you were like part of the, you know, communist government. So there wasn't that much actual like hate for your like communist past, and that just like recently developed with like the rise of right-wing parties, I'd say, at least.
I think you're definitely right about that.
Yeah, that there was like a rewriting of your national
reactionary fucking
narrative. Yeah, you would say like, oh, we actually never wanted communism, even though you had the Communist Party in Poland, and they weren't like forced to do that, you know. So, yeah.
Cool. All right. I think we can. Woof. Yeah, look out for those episodes in the future, gang. 2020, here we come. All right, here's some Rob and Nick questions. Rob and Nick. All right, which host is the cutest, and why is it Nick?
I mean, I disagree. I think it's Rob or Yulia, but for different reasons.
They are both blonde.
I want to talk about politics too.
No, you got this question.
No, Rob.
Get the horny questions.
Yeah, no. Rob, I have. I don't know what it is. I just love Rob for whatever reason that it is.
Rob is a triangle, like an
Yeah.
upside down triangle.
Yeah.
Of a person.
Rob
Triangle?
Like, it's-
Oh yeah.
yeah. Rob is just a different level of handsome that I've never known. And Yulia's Yulia. Like, she's the best member of the group. Kieran's Kieran. It's also nice. But
That's
he's
also
also not
nice.
like
Japanese pervert.
Kieran can't dunk, so
That is
Yulia
true,
and
man.
Rob can.
I could dunk
Yeah.
when I was 15.
Oh.
Oh, look at you. What,
I was-
why,
I
why,
was
He was taller.
I know. I've been this age since I was. I've been this height since I was. 12.
I've been this age since I was 12.
I am 12.
Yeah. Kieran, why are you not in the NBA then?
I'm sorry. Ireland doesn't really get an edge in the NBA. To be perfectly honest.
Whatever.
Is there an Irish basketball?
I don't know
player?
actually.
I just
There
get a
is.
sense of like, all right, like in answering that
Google
in
it.
answering that question seriously,
Yeah.
I just feel that then like if I wanted to feel safe with someone, it would be Rob.
All right.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know.
No, I hard agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rob is the soldier who's like doing this while the
Yeah, well, the knives come in.
Yeah.
The knives are people mean to us on Twitter.
yeah, it was just Rob just like covering us, and I feel safe because Rob would do that.
In a more serious question directed towards Rob and Nick that I was actually interested in hearing their answer to is like, are there any aspects of American federalism you prefer over the German model?
Ooh.
Both are dumb. No,
Yeah, I can't imagine liking anything about American governance.
you get to vote for celebrities in the U.S. That's kind of cool.
That is kind of cool.
So there's something actually I would pitch to you as something as
Kid Rock could become president one day. You know, we never know.
as someone who comes from as the only person on this table who comes from a very centralized country. There is something I would pitch that is kind of cool, and I think you see this in the UK election, which is there is no like middle ground. There is no proving ground or testing ground. Like in the UK election, as an example, it's a kind of an all or nothing victory. There is no state legislature. There's no Bundesland where you can be like, we got someone in the right party.
I extremely disagree because that is all proven wrong with the what's it called? What is going on right now?
Like what?
The primaries.
Oh,
That
yeah.
like if those didn't exist, if those were internal within the party, and they kind of are and they kind of aren't.
I find that like super weird that you do that.
It is incredibly stupid because if you don't know how the system works, it's like, oh, America's
Yeah.
voting for their president. You have like 18 people running. It's like, no, like
Yeah,
they're all competing
France
internally.
is starting to do it that way as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
And the thing of the matter is that like the primary system is one that then like I hate and like understand at the same time. Like not that I like it, but it's like it makes sense within like how dumb American politics are. But yeah, no, it's I don't know. German politics are dumb in a whole different way because it's just a really strict parliamentary structure that has I think has more seats than the U.S. government does, doesn't it?
Does it varies every year, right? No.
Yeah, potentially
I think
could.
it's more. I can't. So, if you mean by federalism specifically the state level and the countrywide level, there's nothing good about it. Like, there's no. I can't think of any redeeming factor in any kind of state level, whether it's the dumb primary system. People. That's something just people say, like, "Oh, it's a laboratories of democracy." But
No,
like,
it's bullshit.
either nothing happens, or like, the biggest problem is that it's like when there's just too many like political levels. I mean, they'll like talk about this bourgeois democracy. It's already bullshit. Just imagine if there were more of them. So you're probably just focused on the national scale, which is what the media reports anyway. And if you're even like tuned in a little bit, that's what you're talking about. On the state level, no one's paying attention.
Yeah, I think
Because they can barely pay attention on the national level. So then all the experiments in democracy are
done on
just
that level.
ridiculously right wing projects,
And
or just like disenfranchising voters and just all this terrible stuff. The state legislatures are reactionary as fuck.
The thing that I think is like different about the United States is like if you wanted to have like a method of like potential left-wing politics, we've seen this in like some cities and some states, is that like the state level does provide that where like Germany doesn't. But as Rob said, no one participates, and because no one participates, they just get away with the most buck wild fucking fascist shit.
Yeah, that's what I asked myself, because like in Germany you have the Parteitag and stuff like that. So you have actually people that are active in the party.
Parties aren't as centralized in the U.S. as they are in Germany
I know,
too. So if I'm a neo-Nazi, all right, and
So
I
just
heard it here first,
imagine-
folks.
so a mask off.
Oh fuck, horseshoe.
No, but like horseshoe theory. If you become far left enough, you become a neo-Nazi. No, but in all reality of that, the thing of the U.S. then is one of the dumbest things that then affects, I would say, both parties, is that then if you exist and you want to run on a local level, you can declare yourself as part of the party. There's no venting process internally within the party unless there's a scandal that comes up.
Oh right.
All right. So look at how many fucking neo-Nazis have like ran for like local offices under the Republican Party with like since Trump has been elected, because there's this wave. I like that the wave of that is real. Like say what you want about then the lib reaction to Trump is like not understood. But the thing that I think that's understood entirely is that then there are more Nazis running on lower levels of U.S. government than ever in American history. And that is true. And you have just, so the Republican Party or the Democratic Party can't control that in any way.
Yeah.
Like, they can tell you drop out or don't become a Democrat anymore, but there's not, like, a systematic, like, procedure within the party, which is actually, like, good and bad. I mean, like, depending on how you look at it. Like, if you have, like from a left-wing perspective, having a centralized party from the left is good. Having a centralized party from, like, another position is maybe bad. I don't know.
Well, I mean, the criticism of the U.S. party system is that you can just get away. I mean, the like capital can get away with more because, at least in a party, you can like agitate. This is the political space, and if you leave it open to just like, you'll just run. You can do whatever you want. It's just like
as long as you follow like the very
it's this fake
basic
freedom.
rules.
It's this fake freedom where then the media can step in, or they'll just like talk to the right people, and then nothing will happen.
I mean, literally, like there was an uncontested seat that like just a neo-Nazi just like popped out of nowhere and tried to like run against a guy. He lost, but still the fact of the matter that then he ran as a Republican after Trump got elected. I think he was in like Illinois too or whatever, like in Chicago if I'm not mistaken. And just that would not have given the history of Germany wouldn't allow a neo-Nazi to run in general, but the fact that the United States system is so just loose. But hey, more communists maybe should run on that level. I know that you guys don't believe in electoralism, but get after it.
Did you guys see that guy who on Twitter was like, he's like, I will not apologize for saying I wish Obama had cancer.
Oh, God.
We'll see how he does.
Yeah.
Wait. So just really quick, like on the
does
state
Obama
level,
have cancer?
No, he's just like my family suffered. I wish Obama got cancer and died, and then everyone's like. All the libs are like, this is what the Bernie bros are like. He's just some guy. I don't know. He's running for Congress. Anyway, so there's all these right-wing experiments in democracy in the state laboratories, and there's no left-wing equivalent because it's just another break on things. I mean, you could look at California or Massachusetts, these places where there are, like, Massachusetts has, it's like 90% Democrats, and it's just a fucking machine. Like, you can't do anything. And if you look at, like, these kind of radical municipality situations like Jackson, Mississippi, for example, they elected this super like radical platform, but they can't do anything because all the funding's from the state, and the state's reactionary as fuck, and they can't do anything. If it were truly national, maybe they would still clamp down on any left wing project, but it'd be like that's just one state. I mean, that's one small city in the South. Like you can't have the same focus on it.
The same thing happened in Phoenix actually, with because Phoenix was discussing becoming a sanctuary city. And because the city of Phoenix, surprisingly enough, is quite far left-wing for being in Arizona.
That's weird.
It is, actually, yeah.
Blue cities, red states is pretty common.
Yeah, very, very, very common. But Phoenix, the thing of the matter is that like if every like Latinx person in Phoenix voted, it would be strong left wing. Because you don't have the thing that like Florida does as much, where you have like the old, like people from Cuba who are.
Cuba, yeah.
Do you know
the Cuban
Bielefeld is one of the only green cities? Like green, okay, sorry, but normally like social democratic cities of that area. Like,
But the thing with Phoenix is that they were gonna have a discussion of a sanctuary city for Phoenix, which would be huge, like one of the largest hubs, aside from like San Diego, of people coming into the nation, quote unquote, illegally or whatever it is, and like making a space of safety for themselves and having these networks, these networks of security, of job, of whatever it is, and Trump actually singly targeted out Phoenix and was like, if you pass this, you're not getting any funding for any projects from the federal level, which is
that's disgusting.
millions.
Is that a lot?
Yeah. No. Yes and no.
Right.
Yeah.
If you've never heard of Cooperation Jackson, you can check them out.
They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So
Also, wait, shout out to Puente on that one. They're a local Arizona activist group, and they're really about dealing with migrant rights and whatnot. And yeah, they're pimp. Like, for whatever reason, if you want to just learn about stuff that then, in that sense, because I know like even donate to them, whatever you can do. I know it's hard from Europe, but this reality for people in the U.S. is it's fucked up. It's like legitimate full blown fascism. Like you could potentially end up in a fucking cage. Yep. And these groups are actually doing a lot of really good work. Overwhelmed, obviously, but nonetheless, that they've been really trying to do it on a very direct action.
Yeah.
So yeah, check them out if you can do whatever you can do to help them out as well. Yeah, just because I mentioned the Phoenix thing. So
cool.
Yeah.
All right. So for everyone here but me, when is the German Corner Späti episode coming out? Mein Lieblingsfach ist Kunst.
Want to have more time?
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Is this a preview of new content?
Yeah, it is. Because we promised this months ago, and I got a job that then didn't allow me to do it. That's actually.
I also
Yeah.
I have more hours soon. So.
But you have more hours with just one job, not 3.
Well, I have the same hours, but I have Yeah.
Yeah, but it'll be easier then at this point.
So once we're done the pissing contest of who has it worse.
No. It's not that
No.
It's not in that sense. It's that Yulia went from having it pretty shit to having 3 separate jobs to then now it's good that she has one job that then has the same amount of hours, which is solid. So that was like a more money, less problem thing for Yulia.
So the general
I certainly
answer is
want to listen to the German language Corner Späti. Yeah. My German's okay, but I don't know if I can talk on a podcast in German. I don't know how you do it.
Hey, we're going to find out, aren't we?
Yeah, it's going to be funny.
Don't worry, I'll be there at the beginning and the end of this podcast to prove that Rob has a far superior German when compared to me. Today I booked a reservation and I said "hab neun," and I definitely meant "20, 30." And
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, you should be. This is high fives all round. Yeah. Oh God, I did it, gang. All right, next question.
Leave some for me.
Oh no, it's all done.
So we're out of Glühwein.
Oh.
Don't worry, we don't have much left.
Right.
So next question. This is a fun one. Who do we want to have on the podcast soon next year? I can start very simply and say I would love to have Irish actor / activist John Connors on. No, seriously, he's a big advocate. He's a traveler himself. He's a big advocate for travelers' rights. He has a very good, huge storied knowledge of everything shitty that's happened to the traveler community over the forever history of the traveler community, and I'd love to have him on and talk about that because it is an issue that most of Europe has no fucking clue what's going on there, including most Irish people. So yeah.
I would want the easy one is Giannis Varoufakis, which is the hardest one actually.
Your dad.
My father. I also want for Rob's sake, Jan Böhmermann.
Sorry.
I might be able to get you that.
Really? Why?
The comedy scene in Germany is so fucking small, man.
Oh, okay. Kieran's gonna hook it up.
Well, I mean, we could turn it into some public stunt. It might be funny.
I mean, we got Kerem on the show this year.
Yeah,
And
that was my dream.
That was one of my big ones because I've been seeing his activism for so many years.
Yeah.
Loren.
Definitely.
Oh, Money Boy.
For what?
Just to fucking have Money Boy on the show.
I would love to have Money Boy on the show.
Yeah.
Oh
Other
my
German
God.
rappers.
Or the Irish drill rapper Kieran.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
AKA Ink. Like
Yes.
that guy's fucking hard as fuck.
Yeah, any rappers, that's cool.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Kai said I like them on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of them?
I don't know.
All of them.
I'm sorry. Other Kieran goes over Giannis
Right.
at this point.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah. Drill Kieran.
Jill Kira.
Drake
Yeah, just
Kieran.
because
That would be
I've
fun.
he just seems so intimidating.
He does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm legit scared of him. I won't be here if you have him on.
Why not?
I'll claim that it's because it would be easier if there was only one Kieran on the podcast, but it's also because I'm scared.
He's probably the nicest to you.
He's probably lovely, yeah.
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 I saw his Vice interview. He was very lovely.
I saw there was a video coming around of like school kids interviewing Stormzy.
Yeah.
For-
yeah.
It's adorable.
Yeah.
No. I would say I don't have an exact list, but different. Any podcasters who do like educational things, I would love to have them on to.
Oh, we were talking about
Yeah.
like real things.
Or
Fuck.
any historians that I read who I like.
I said before Kieran, the drill rapper, was brought up, I said Lauren Balhorn would be probably a great guest.
Lauren,
Yeah.
you're probably like already like out there somewhere hearing our show. Just come on, like you're more than welcome. We love you. You're a pimp.
All right, so I'm gonna breeze through some questions that were directed at me. So
Okay,
You're like yes, no, yes, no, yes, no.
maybe.
Yeah, I'm like leaving soon, so
yeah,
like if you want to continue, you can do that.
which particular Irish butter is the best? Kerrygold, but it just needs to be put back under state ownership.
That's what I've been
Yes.
saying.
Yeah, and also it needs to be salted, not this unsalted
Yes.
bullshit. Yes. What top 500 TikToks of the year? Can't do all of them. Top one is definitely the guy who's stealing shit from Subway on a regular basis while making pig noises as he takes them. That's the best. Spice bag or curry chips? Definitely spice bag.
What is that?
A spice bag is fried chicken, fried onions and peppers and chips in a bag with 5 spice, the Chinese. Yeah, you get it from takeaways. Yulia's eyes have widened up as if she's seen a sunset for the first time. It's beautiful. Curry chips just get really soggy really quickly. You can't have that. That's just chips with curry sauce.
No, thank you.
Yeah. It's fine. Like, it's good. But, okay. There were some serious questions in here. We don't have time. I'll get to them at another point. A more serious question is, what was your favorite anime of this year? It's definitely That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Is a really good anime about a guy who dies when he's 30 years old as a virgin. So he gets reincarnated as a slime, like as in from like
As in the bucket of slime from Slime Time Lab.
Not in the
from
sense
Nickelodeon.
of
No.
my girlfriend, like
No,
when
like-
what rappers say.
no, like Dragon Quest slime, like the basic enemy you fight in like
He my slime. That's my slime.
Yeah, exactly. Not like that.
no, like the basic enemy you fight in like RPG games. It's just like a slime that just eats people. He gets reincarnated as that. He becomes overpowered and he starts leading like all the enemies into
No. He comes back as Young Thug's best friend.
basically.
Best
anyway,
friend.
Anyway, great anime. Strongly recommend. That Time I Got Reincarnated as a slime. Also, I got asked, Kieran, why did you kill Rosa, Kieran? And why did
Oh
you
my god,
have
I
to?
thought you killed my cat for a second.
Why did you have to make Corbin lose, Kieran? What is your end goal here?
First of all, I knew you killed Rosa.
I'm sorry.
Rosa's also my cat.
My end goal is 10,000 years of Pete Buttigieg. I'm sorry, guys.
That is anarchism right there.
That is.
Yeah.
Pure fucking chaos.
The purest chaos. The most anarchist is Pete Buttigieg.
Yeah.
All right, and I think we will just go for one last question. This is one actually that I found very interesting. It was like, why do we think politicians don't get assassinated as much as they used to?
I saw that and I was like, that's a good question.
is.
Why don't they? I mean, like, I guess
Because Yulia's not the fucking hitman.
people. I guess we don't know. We don't know how many plots have been foiled. But it seems like people aren't even plotting. So it just seems like people just aren't about that life anymore.
What was the last one? Like the attempt on Nixon?
Well, I mean, other than
Reagan.
other than like the CIA just killing people.
It's been a
like,
while since I tried to.
It's been a while since I tried to kill a U.S. president.
Wasn't
been a
someone tried to kill Ford?
Fucking Gerald Ford, yeah.
So like, maybe there've been more attempts, but it just hasn't worked. Yeah, completely unrelated to that topic. Remember that funny video of Shia LaBeouf saying, "Don't let your dreams be dreams."
In Minecraft.
Wait, what was the Lord of the Flies question?
All right,
Ask it. I'm prepared.
All right. If the Anglophone alt-right movement were in a Lord of the Flies situation on an island, which character do you think everyone would be?
I forgot it was Anglophone.
It's
Okay.
all right. I'm willing to.
So I think I'm the only one who's read this book. We had to read it in
You
school.
are, yeah.
For those who don't know, a bunch of British lads get stuck on an island and then they go crazy.
Yes.
Because that's what
I've seen the Simpsons parody episode. I'm familiar.
So all I could remember was Piggy. I looked up the plot, and then there's like 4 main characters. So that jogged my memory. So I'll go back to that. There's Piggy's like the nerd, and then there's this guy Ralph, and then what were the other 2?
There's a Ralph from The Simpsons.
There's like Ralph who's like the leader, and then there's the other leader who's like more hardcore, and then there's one who talks to the pig head and like learns the truth. So I forgot it was Anglophone, so I'm just gonna roll with this.
No, just go.
I feel like Ralph and Piggy are the Americans, and so I'm gonna pick for Ralph Richard Spencer and Piggy's Ben Shapiro. Because he just seems like that's what Ben Shapiro would do.
I mean,
he just becomes somebody's little simp on the island.
You just tell me there's a character in Lord of the Flies called Piggy, and I'm like, yeah, Ben Shapiro. Let's go.
The other leader, what the fuck's his name? David?
It's Nelson in The Simpsons.
Nelson?
Yeah.
I was gonna pick like the Austrian Identitäre Bewegung guy, Martin Zellner, whatever his name is. They're gonna fight.
Yeah.
I don't have one in particular, but the other one who just like, I do remember this from the book. He just like talks to the pig head, which they put up as like a sacrifice, and the pig head's just like, "There's no beast. You are the beast." And then he like runs back to tell everybody that there's no beast. I'm just imagining that's some alt-right guy who's like, "Guys, we just have to apply free market economics. We don't have to like this Nazi stuff. It's already out there in the world." And then
Dave Rubin.
And then they kill him.
So the serious question I have here is, what do you think of people who hope for climate change to be the catalyst for the revolution?
Nope.
I mean, you can do that, but the answer is just simply just accelerationism is bad.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like, let's fuck up the world, and then have a revolution, and then we're all fucked up anyway because we fucked up the world. So.
Which isn't just like ends up in like just like a weird sense of it, like that may actually be the political shoehorn. No, what is it? The horseshoe. Shoehorn something different.
I like that.
It's a thing that helps you put your shoes on. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. All right. So before we get into the last question, I guess we just say thank you to everyone who sent us in questions, because.
And thank you for this year.
It
has been a genuinely fun time making this show and having people have a good response to it. So thank you a lot.
There were so many like good questions, and I'm sorry that we couldn't answer all of them, because
we can save these and do another episode.
We
of just
will
these
definitely
again.
Because we always like have episodes where we don't really have like.
Exactly.
Cut our mic.
Every episode is perfectly planned out.
No, we always have content. Definitely.
Don't listen to any of the past episodes. Yeah, for sure. Because some of these questions we can bring back as other question episodes. Other questions are definitely their own episode in themselves. Again, just thank you so much for sending these in. Thanks to the community in Discord who are just a bunch of cuties. I love you so much. Thanks to everyone who follows us on Twitter. You are also a bunch of cuties. I love you so much. And here's hoping for another good year.
And there is new content coming. Please bother Nick and Julia till they make the German language.
The German
podcast.
show will come. All right. All right.
The more you annoy them, the faster it will come.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
my promise.
No, I will give it up. The German show will come. There will be the first episode at least by April. I can promise.
Yeah, I'd
Oh,
say that.
wow.
Yeah.
Making, throwing it down.
Yeah,
Ich
because
wohne in
Yeah.
Berlin.
I love that.
I know
We should
that
just
that's. I know
have
that.
you throw in like random German sentences.
Ich komme aus Irland.
Maron.
Maro.
Ja, ich habe 2 Kinder. Und nicht 1,5.
You heard that new content coming. And if I can convince everyone to, there will be some solo episodes on the way.
Oh, on that
I already
note,
have
Okay,
my
let's do like a
plan.
solo Latvia.
They're coming.
on that note, because
Be ready.
it is the end of the year. We've already agreed about this anyway.
That's the end of the year.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
agreed about
Happy New Year! Thanks to Corner Späti giving you next year.
Yeah.
Um,
If you don't subscribe to the podcast, we will withhold 2020
2019
from you.
will just exist
will last forever, and you don't want
2019
that. It was
pretty fucking
shitty.
shit.
It sucked.
Yeah.
You don't want it.
Rest in peace, Juice World.
Oh my god! Don't make me sad on the
We are for
Friends?
the new year. Yes, we're all friends.
we're friends, yeah.
So starting for the new year, we are we're gonna do we're gonna ask you for money through Patreon, and we're gonna have extra
Friends?
content maybe. So
Yeah, we finally set up a Patreon. We'll hopefully do extra content. And this extra content will answer all of these difficult questions about what I think of Northern Ireland. Is the answer. In short.
I'm glad that the only question that I personally got was why am I sexy?
I mean, why though? Why?
Yeah,
You still haven't answered yet, Nick.
all the murders.
I drink my enemy's blood and regain their youth.
I mean, thank you for the boost of self-confidence, whoever that person was. Thank you.
oh, you know, no.
I know who did it.
Yeah.
So again, just thank you for this year. It's been really lovely. You're all a bunch of just thoughts and
Pogs.
and thoughts and pogs. And I guess with our last question, it is this, and this might be directed to all of us, or more specifically me and Nick. Once leftism gets an actual positive public image again, how do you think left unity will once again get ruined in 100 years? And also, on top of that, Kronstadt sailors or Paris Commune?
That the second part of the question is fucking obvious. The first part, though, is that make friends with anarchists, at least in my case, and then just talk shit behind their back.
Yeah.
That's how you make sure that
That's
left
how
unity never happens. So I'm friends with Kieran. Kieran's an anarchist. What do I do when Kieran's not around? I just talk shit about him. 110%.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, fucking Kieran. He's sus. He's dumb. He has 2 dogs. Who needs 2 dogs?
Yeah. CIA dude. That's who.
Yeah, they're big dogs. They can attack you. CIA dogs. That's what those are.
Yeah.
Kieran is a CIA op.
Yeah. Everyone visit my website. Everyone visit my website operationglad.io. It's great where you can find all the content. No, in seriousness, in 100 years' time, Corner Späti will have a Twitch live stream, which will just be me and Nick topless fighting on the street.
Ah.
In 20 whatever year this is. Wait, what year was this?
It'll be 2119.
2119. Yes, and that year it'll be considered hentai, and we'll both make money as it. Also through ChatterBait and the other.
Yeah. Which will have been incorporated
Great
into
content on
Twitch.
ChatterBait, definitely.
Yeah. What was the other part of that question?
Kronstadt versus Paris.
Paris
yeah.
Commune.
Paris Commune. Come on.
Yeah, definitely.
Fucking-
Come on.
The Kronstadt sailors were traitors.
Here we go.
Because my
What do you want me to say?
Well, we had fights about this, but
Yeah, they could have gone with the revolution and they didn't. Like, you know what? Lenin was just cutting his losses.
Anyway, yeah, Paris Commune because they lasted longer. So.
Yeah, Kronstadt Steelers not because they disrespected the boy, the king, El Lenino.
I'm also going to come down on the side of the Paris Commune because
Okay, cool.
yeah, Proudhon was there and he still advocated anarchism afterwards.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love you all. You're all big cutie babies, and I especially love everyone.
Cutie babies.
Goo goo gaga.
Goo goo gaga. I love everyone that I do this podcast with. I've had 3 beers. We've had 2 pots of glue.
I had so much Glühwein.
4 bottles of
You only
Glühwein.
had 3 beers. That's that
one of those is
the one is
Nick's.
Nick's.
Yeah.
Hot sauce is mine, which I
And
was
Rob is a
debating drinking
loser
at
because
one
he's
point.
drinking craft malts.
Like,
Some Glühwein.
Nick has been far more lucid than I have because after 3 beers, I would have grabbed that hot sauce and just taken a swig. Never mind.
Wow,
The
nothing.
hot sauce is
nothing.
solid.
It's very thick.
It's solid.
Oh, thank
Well, it's solid hot sauce in my
It's-
opinion.
yeah, thank you, Julia.
Oh, nothing happened to it. That's so good.
Anyway, we're all hoping for 2020, where I guess the biggest hope we're hoping for is French general strike results in question mark communism.
World
Revolution.
communism.
Yeah, via France.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you know what? If any country can, why not the French?
Paris Commune 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where even is Kronstadt?
It's in St. Petersburg.
I don't.
Yeah.
Shut up.
It's,
Sorry.
Yeah, it's a sad
Who
story.
asked that question, by the way? What kind of like?
It was a
obviously-
joke. It was a
What
joke
kind of
president.
anarchist-
What kind of, no. What kind of like? I mean,
No.
come on. Like there's only the OGs there.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, Yulia, come on. Don't even fucking front. You know that Kronstadt failed.
I know.
Dumb anarchist bitches.
All right, it's time to go. Bye.
Yeah, it's time to go.
Because Kudo is going to kill Nick.
One more beer and I'll start telling you why Voldemort didn't happen. All right.
Happy
We
New
will
Year.
we will see you in the new year.
Yeah. Ciao.
That's left unity, right?
100 years, more like next year.
Like next week if I'm fucking lucky. All right. Goodbye, everyone.
See you.
Bye.